Welcome back, y'all, to the fifth and final Teach2Learn public speaking summer workshop. Well, because we will be coming back in late September, I think. We're just going to be covering kind of last workshop we introduced current affairs and we did a bit of speeches about stuff with schools and all that and how to develop a very argumentative speech. Now we're going to basically be continuing that with the prompts that you guys chose last week. So, but first, opening question, because it's a little fun thing to talk about. What did you guys expect when you first joined the workshop? So this is a very general question, obviously. There's a lot of different ways you guys could take this. But
It's
go ahead and drop.
like what you expected to learn, how you expected to learn it through different activities. And later on, we'll compare that to how it actually went and what you feel you learned.
Yeah, and go ahead and drop your answers in the discussion chat, kind of as usual. But just kind of looking at where we started about a month ago and where we are now. It's been a month. It's been 4 weeks, whatever. That's a month.
To learn how to speak in public confidently. Yeah.
Lots of confidence. Oh yeah, we weren't gonna make you guys do that because we know how long that takes, and the whole thing with Teach2Learn workshops is that, even for all the workshops and even when you guys come back, we're never gonna force you guys to do homework or like do an extensive amount of work at home. That's just not, we don't vibe with that, and this isn't like a class really per se, right? It's just a workshop to help get you guys interested and learn a little bit more about a topic. Oh, that's loud, isn't it? Can you guys hear that?
Fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Different talking points, how to be a better speaker, more confident. Yeah. And you guys probably might notice that, like, you had this idea of this workshop is going to help me be a better speaker, but maybe you didn't know exactly what that meant or, like, how that would happen. Right. Like, so thinking about all the little details that we went over and that we've talked about in the workshops thus far, and how those contributed to generally the whole idea of making you a better and more confident speaker. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we were too off the mark, hopefully, from the expectation. All right, moving on. So for this workshop, again, we're gonna be kind of just going more into current affairs. So we're going to do a little bit of a recap on how to integrate current affairs into speeches in a general sense. We're going to introduce to you guys one last device. It's a little bit of a complicated one, rhetorical appeals. We're going to do one more speech activity using those prompts that you guys voted on last week. And then we're going to kind of wrap up the whole series, put a nice little bow on it, and kind of end it off.
Okay. When integrating current affairs into your speech, just keep in mind that it's kind of really similar to how you would do with an anecdote. They're both really strong examples or evidence for your point since they actually happen, right? And by a current affair, we mean something that's a relevant real-world event that can be used to provide further evidence and support for your point. By relevant, we mean like it would be ideally in the past year or 6 months, but depending on the prompt, that can vary, of course. And make sure that you know enough on your current affair to be able to go into detail and elaborate on it to make sure it looks like you have enough knowledge on it and that something that you just randomly thought of and it popped into the back of your head. So um, it can actually be seen as a sufficient piece of evidence.
Yeah, and that's kind of why we gave you guys the prompts last week, right? Just so you guys could hopefully, if you were feeling up to it, do a little bit of research on it, to strengthen your knowledge on it, but also just so you would be prepared in advance, knowing this is the topic, so I can talk about this event or this event that I know of personally to kind of make like paint the whole picture of the current affair. But you guys kind of already got this last week.
Okay, so the device that we're introducing today are rhetorical appeals, which are made up of ethos, pathos, and logos. So when you guys use these devices in a speech, make sure that you don't tell the audience specifically whether you're using ethos, pathos, or logos, because these are just the names of the general strategies, and you don't actually have to state which one you're using before you use it.
It's not only you don't have to, it's like actively don't do it. Like,
yeah.
You should pretty much, unless you're talking about these rhetorical appeals as like a topic, which is definitely a weird exception, but you shouldn't mention any of these by name. It's kind of like you wouldn't use a metaphor and say I used a metaphor there, you know? It's the same thing where like you're not gonna
Yeah.
just want to avoid doing that.
So ethos is an argument that appeals to the audience by emphasizing a speaker's credibility. So, for example, if a toothpaste commercial said that a toothpaste is recommended by 9 out of 10 dentists, you might be more likely to buy it than if some random guy was talking about why you should buy the toothpaste.
Yeah, and then other examples of this include, like athletics wear, and then they get a bunch of specific athletes to sponsor their they sponsor a bunch of different athletes to represent their brand. That's another example, right? If you see a professional athlete that you like wearing a certain brand of clothes, it's gonna
make you want
usually
that.
yeah, it's gonna usually make you want to buy that brand more than just you see some random guy on the street wearing it, right? So that's why they're called appeals, because they're appealing to a certain aspect, and in this case it would be the speaker's credibility, or generally someone with a lot of authority, or like someone that you would look up to.
So pathos appeals to the audience's emotion and attempts to sway the audience emotionally. So, for example, telling someone that their donation could help get this puppy off of the street and into a good home would be probably more likely to convince them to donate than if you just ask for like a money donation.
Yeah, and then so pretty much I'm pretty sure like any charity commercial you guys have seen would utilize pathos. But another way that pathos is commonly utilized is in political speech, because in political speech, um, like politicians are commonly going to want to play on the audience's sense of, you know, patriotism or pride towards America or a sense of shared unity. All of these, it's not just like sadness or like that kind of thing that counts as an emotion that you can appeal to, right? It's just pretty much anything that like you trying deliberately to evoke a very strong emotion in the audience, because usually, right, when an audience is more emotional, they're going to be more receptive to whatever you say.
And then logos appeals to the audience's logic through the use of factual and logical information, such as statistics or percentages. And so if you told an audience that it is 68% more likely for accidents to result in fatality when passengers don't wear a seatbelt, it will definitely be more effective in convincing them to wear a seatbelt rather than if you just told them that wearing a seatbelt is important.
Yeah. And then logos is pretty broad, so it sometimes can extend past just like numbers, and go straight to like logical statements. So because this, then this. But usually when you use it, it's gonna come in the form of things like statistics. So just to look at it, the three big things, right? Because this can be a little hard to wrap your head around at first if you have zero familiarity with it. But your ethos, your pathos, and your logos appeal to the credibility of a specific person or people. So the people that endorse your brands, the people that have a lot of authority, the people that you would be more likely to believe just because of who they are. Pathos, anything that is super strong, strongly emotionally charged, super design like focused on evoking an emotion, trying to make you sad or make you happy or make you excited about something. And then logos, stuff with numbers and stuff that like you're like, okay, this makes sense. Those are the three big ones. So it's a good way to just think. It's just a good way to like think about speeches, right? And three general strategies that you can identify in a lot of different speeches, a lot of different advertisements, anything that's designed to persuade.
Okay, now we're going to go into our example of what we're kind of looking for in your speech. So first we have our introduction with the prompt, should zoos be banned? And then we go into our 3 points, our recap, and conclusion. And that's seen on the next slide where we have an outline of it. Emily, can you go to
Yeah.
the yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, give me 1 second. But yeah, you guys will notice a lot of similarities between this and the climate change one from last week because we're kind of staying in that same zone.
Okay, so y'all already know this since we've like explained it a lot. So it goes introduction, 3 points, and conclusion. So for the zoos, I would probably say, whether zoos should be banned has been a great debate which has spanned many years. And today I will be addressing why zoos should be banned. And then you go into your 3 points. And that's where you want to include all the real world examples, all the current affairs, and basically anything you can kind of bring into it, all the devices that we taught so far. And then you can go into your conclusion where it kind of summarizes it all. And you can say if we don't do something about zoos, then animals will suffer psychological damage, suffer in the name of conservation, and they will lose natural behaviors. And now we're going to go into our 3 points in the next slide. So this was just kind of an outline I made, so it's kind of easier for you guys to understand what the 3 points kind of do. So you just kind of elaborate on all of them. See, I have psychological damage here. Conservation is it's kind of a scam, and then animals lose natural behaviors. Then you can go even deeper into that. And for captive animals, it creates mental illnesses. That's pathos right there. You can kind of play on that. Animals are trapped in cages. Humans don't want to be either. So why should we have them in cages? And then the BBC study is kind of an example of ethos because a lot of people know BBC, so they're going to trust it because they know it. And then for the conservation is a scam, you can bring in an anecdote. When I went to the zoo, there was no awareness raised, and you can tie that in there. And then lose natural behavior would be an example of logos because logically speaking, since animals are fed by humans, then they kind of start to trust them. So they'll be easy targets for hunters. And this was just an example to like how you can elaborate on your 3 points and integrate everything in there. And of course, you don't have like every device.
Yeah, so what we want you guys to take away from this primarily is kind of what we've been talking about a lot over the course of the entire workshop series. It's when you write the speech, we want you guys to come up with the points, right? But you can't just leave it there. You can't just say these are my 3 points and I'm done, right? You need to look at each point and kind of back it up, give it some kind of evidence. So for the mental illnesses point, you can't just say it like holding animals captive gives them mental illnesses and then just leave it and move on, right? Because then people are going to be like, well, what
like what do you mean? Yeah.
Talk more about it. So then you would bring in the study to back it up and explain a little bit more in detail, right? So it's just making sure that you don't just say the point and then leave and then say another point and then move on and then say another point and move on and then you end in like 30 seconds and the audience is like, well, you said some stuff, but like I didn't like you didn't explain it, right? So I guess another way to thinking about it is like if any of you guys have ever had a friend explain a concept for school to you, or like you're like, okay, I need help with this thing, or you've been the helper, right? And like, and you're like, okay, I need some tutoring because the test is like later today, and I haven't studied, and you're like, okay, just tell me all the content. And then sometimes whoever's being the tutor, right, will kind of gloss over it, and then the person that needs to learn it is like, okay, wait, hold up, like, what does that mean? What are you trying to say? So it's the same thing with speech. You can't just say the thing and then move on. You have to kind of explain what you're trying to say and explain it more in depth, because you can't expect the audience to know everything that you know. You're kind of running around in circles, but I hope that makes sense. So, yeah, like we pretty much, again, it's going off of the prompts that we gave you guys last week. So we're kind of just introducing one last device, reiterating some of the most important information one more time. And then you guys are kind of going to be giving one last speech for the workshop series. Again, things to think about: creating your outline, implementing the devices that you think make the most sense, for the topics of your speech and for all the different ideas that you might have, the information that you want to convey, and making sure to very strongly assert and state which side of the argument that you're on. So I believe if you go into the speech polls, because if you might have forgotten which topic you picked, you can see the on like there's 4 polls from August 3rd, right? The second one, you can check what answer that you gave for the prompts that you chose if you might have forgotten. You guys can let us know if you don't have a prompt. And you can pretty much just pick whatever one that you want to do. Like, we're not going to split you guys up like the quotes based on first and second choice. You're just going to get whatever one you want.
The prompts are also on the next slide, so if you want to show
Yeah.
that.
So look at these prompts. Try to remember which one you chose last week. If you can't, just pick one that you want to do, and then we're gonna split off into random groups and give the speeches, give the feedback. You guys kind of know the drill at this point.
Yep.
So
Okay, I guess we can start splitting off now. Again, try to create full groups, and if you don't have a prompt, then stay behind, and we'll give you one.
yeah. But again, if you don't have a prompt yet, just go ahead and pick whichever one interests you.
You start dragging people.
Yeah.
So we wanted you guys' feedback on how's your experience in comparison to your expectation, and how far you think you've come since the beginning. So yeah.
Oh, are you telling me about the survey now?
Yeah. We just
Did you
started
go
though.
ahead and drop it in the?
Oh, can someone copy it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Okay,
Make
I'm
sure
gonna
to
drop
fill
it in
this
the
out.
announcements. Yeah. So if you guys check the announcements chat, you'll see a feedback survey. And that would just be really helpful for us to like learn ways that we can do better. Because this is also like kind of the first time that we've done this, right? So obviously we're not perfect. We didn't really execute the workshops perfectly. So we just want to hear from you guys what you guys think we can do better, or
Yeah, so that when we have like future workshops, we can work on trying to use your guys' feedback to like make the workshops better in general.
yeah. We'll probably wait for the other groups to finish up before we do the recap, I would say, right?
Yeah, Zoe's almost done. I don't know about Ashton though.
Ashley could probably go on.
Yeah. He's so inspirational.
If Zoe comes in and they're still not done, then we can just hold them off.
When you went to go check on Zoe, how many more people in her group?
2 more people need to go.
Yeah, we can probably wait. We're just chilling. How many of you guys are from CISD, from Conroe ISD?
I am.
Pog.
I am.
That's cool.
Nice. So yeah, school's kind of coming up.
Yeah, 2 days.
Unfortunately, I still need to finish my homework.
Mm,
Oh yeah, you want to get those SATs done. I don't know how she's gonna check them though, to be honest.
mm.
She might just I don't know. Because Miss Bauer's like pretty
Khan
like
Academy. We did ours on Khan Academy. So she has access.
oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, that makes way more sense. Because I'm like, how is she gonna verify it with the book? Because I remember the book.
Book.
She for our class, she made us buy a book and do the test in there. But I guess she realized that you can't really verify that in the pandemic. So
Probably not.
Bauer's a good teacher though. You guys are gonna like her. I think.
Yeah, she was a good teacher. I had her for geometry last year.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. She also kept teaching geometry. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, vibing. So, are you guys all? Are the two of you guys are both from McCullough or other some McCullough kids?
I'm going to McCullough, 7th grade.
Ooh.
I'm going to McCullough.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Well, actually,
Well, I heard it's better than Knox.
It is.
yeah, that
Is
is
what
true.
Said.
Well, there's a little bit of bias there, but yeah, I mean, McCullough is definitely like bigger than Knox, so there's like more stuff there, I guess.
It's also really funny because we all went to McCullough, but now we go to College Park. So
Yeah, so I mean,
I still support McCullough though over Knox.
yeah,
yeah, we went there now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess. Well, you guys don't even have to deal with like the scariest parts of McCullough, which are like getting used to like the lockers and like running around the school with your schedule. So
I mean, I feel like that could be fun. It's just that right now everything feels like super confusing and awkward because it's going to be all online.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is fun. It's and as well, but
It's like normally I'm okay with starting a new school year at a new school, which is something I've done like 5 times before. Well, not 5, 4, I think.
Yeah. Walking your schedule is the most fun part, and you won't even get to do that this year.
dude, we don't get to do that this
Yeah,
year.
like my main thing is that the schedules just don't have the times on it, and then no one's even telling me what time everything is because the
Yeah,
district
the
hasn't
way
released anything yet.
that at least it's been going for high school is that they're just gonna put assignments on there, and you just get all your assignments done every day, and then you'll be okay.
They're
For-
literally making us attend classes.
Bruh.
Oh yeah, cause red green is weird. I forgot about that.
yeah. Honestly, I couldn't even imagine doing like 7 periods in McCullough, but now I can't imagine doing like the red green day thing.
Split
Yeah. Split was weird. I had to carry so much crap for split because you weren't allowed to bring your backpacks around in the hall.
Right, the football players, they would like shove everyone out of the way. It was very annoying.
Oh yeah, that didn't change though.
It didn't.
Wait, yeah, I kind of screwed up the I might have screwed up the feedback form.
That's alright. Make sure it like accepts responses. That would be an issue.
Where does it say entrepreneurship? Where did I screw it up? Oh yeah, that says entrepreneurship. Oops. No one saw that except the 7 of you that did.
Oh, can someone check on Ashton's group? I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I'll go.
Awesome.
Okay, he's giving an inspirational speech right now,
No.
per usual.
Wait, we should give an inspirational speech then.
I'm not good at inspirational speeches.
Ashton is inspiration.
Actually, but while we're here, we might as well. We do need to do the recap. So if you wanna, come on, you wanna go to the recap?
For here.
Wait, here we go. Okay, guys, if you look in the announcements, we've posted a feedback form, and this is to get your feedback basically on what you expected and what you got, and what did you think of our workshops as a whole. And try to be as honest as possible.
Yeah, we definitely want you guys to be honest and like so we can do better because that's all we really want is to just do better. With the feedback that y'all give us. Other than that,
So it's in the announcements. We're gonna move on to our recap.
no, other way, other direction. Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
Left.
This?
No, the last one. Yeah, this one. Okay. So we just want to do a quick recap of this whole workshop series, right? And just kind of getting a look at how much you guys learned and accomplished in 4 weeks, right? In 4 weeks, you guys like just came into our workshops and you're like had no idea what to or had some idea what to expect, but not necessarily like exactly what to expect. But we looked at all these different devices and also how to think about devices and put them into speeches. We practiced doing the speeches 4 different times and just getting you guys more comfortable, you guys improving every single time and just getting better and better at public speaking. Talked about, you know, other parts of speech like body language, vocal delivery, tone, all that stuff, and how to organize a speech. So think about it, guys. 4 times in a row. It's kind of 3 weeks in a row, right? But over the course of 4 weeks, you guys made 4 different speeches, each of them in probably like 5 to 7 minutes. You just made them and then you gave them. Like that's like you want to go home and tell someone you did that and they might not even believe you, you know? It's like just looking back, we want you guys to kind of look back on all the stuff that you can accomplish and learn in just 5 workshops, just in just 4 weeks, right? And I hope you guys, at least a lot of you guys enjoyed doing this and figured out, I might like this whole public speaking thing. I might like to join competitive speech or do debate when I get to junior high or when I get to high school, and start think, or like I might want to start learning some stuff on my own, right? And that's kind of what we want. Or you might have figured out, okay, maybe this whole public speaking thing isn't for me. You know, I see that it's important and I see how it can affect all these different areas, but you know, I'm not that particularly super interested, so I'm probably not going to do speech or debate. That's also a good thing to find out, right? Is just finding out, am I interested in this thing or am I not interested in this thing? So in that sense, we hope that this was really productive workshops for you guys beyond just learning all these basic concepts. But looking at the basic concepts, you guys got a lot done in the last few weeks. And yeah, that's pretty much that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I'm not as inspirational as Ashton, unfortunately. But, so yeah, for those of you that are going into CISD, good luck with that. In like a couple days, because we hope all of you guys have a really great school year. We hope that you guys can take these skills, and these skills can help you guys in your when you're in school, and also just outside of school. Maybe you can use these skills to persuade your parents on something, and you can tell us, and we'll be very proud. But that pretty much ends off the Teach2Learn summer public speaking workshop series. That's all we have for you guys. So vibe. Where you guys can go ahead and leave, and that pretty much ends it off.
Yeah. And thank you all for participating.
Thank you
guys so much for coming around, for doing all these workshops, for bearing with us through technical difficulties and all that.
For unmuting yourselves.
The real ones unmute themselves.
Yeah, we appreciated those people.
But yeah, bye guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.